Trust God's timing and wisdom. In a world that often feels fast-paced and driven by urgency, trusting in God's timing and wisdom can seem like a challenge. We live in an age where everything is at our fingertips, and waiting or being patient often feels unnatural. We may find ourselves overwhelmed by a sense of pressure to move quickly or make decisions right away, especially when it comes to our finances. But there's something incredibly peaceful and freeing about learning to trust that God has a perfect plan for our lives, especially when it comes to our money. Trusting God means surrendering control, letting go of the worry and fear that come with financial uncertainty, and recognizing that His timing and wisdom are far beyond what we can see in our immediate circumstances. When it comes to our finances, we often try to take the reins ourselves, hoping that by doing so, we'll secure the future we desire. But true financial peace comes when we place our trust in God's timing and wisdom. This isn't about passively sitting back and doing nothing, but rather about working with intention, while keeping faith that God's guidance will lead us at just the right moment. Sometimes, the things we desire most in our finances or our lives may take time to manifest. When we trust in God's timing, we learn to wait with patience and faith, knowing that He is at work even when we cannot see it. Trusting in God's wisdom also means seeking His guidance in every financial decision, knowing that His plan is always better than our own. God's timing is perfect, even when it's hard to understand. One of the hardest parts about trusting in God's timing is recognizing that His idea of timing might not always align with ours. We live in a world that teaches us to expect immediate gratification and to always want things right away. Whether it's securing the job of our dreams, buying our first house, or achieving a specific financial milestone, we often find ourselves wishing for quicker results. But God's timing is perfect, even when it doesn't make sense to us. There will be times when you may feel that you're ready to move forward, ready to make a big purchase, launch a business, or make an investment, and yet, doors may not open as quickly as you expect. This can feel frustrating, especially when it seems like others around you are progressing faster. However, God's timing is never late, and it's always for your good. Trusting in God's timing means understanding that there are seasons for everything, and each season serves a specific purpose in our growth and development. There may be lessons to learn, skills to build, or character traits to develop before we reach that next level. In financial matters, this could mean waiting for a better opportunity, learning to budget and save, or learning how to be content with where you are, knowing that God is preparing you for what's to come. While we may not always understand the wait, trusting in His timing allows us to remain at peace, even when things feel uncertain or when our financial goals seem delayed. Over time, you'll begin to see how God's plan for your life unfolds in perfect timing, and you'll realize that the waiting period was actually the foundation for something even greater than you expected. Seeking God's wisdom in financial decisions. When it comes to making important financial decisions, seeking God's wisdom is one of the most powerful steps you can take. We often make decisions based on our own understanding, limited by our personal experiences, knowledge, or emotions. But God's wisdom transcends all of that. His understanding of our financial situations, our needs, desires, and potential far exceeds what we can comprehend on our own. When we invite God into our financial decisions, we open ourselves to guidance that is far better than anything we could decide on our own. Whether you're considering an investment, a purchase, or a major life decision like buying a home, God's wisdom will lead you toward what is best for you. Seeking God's wisdom means first taking the time to pray and reflect before making big decisions. It's about surrendering your own desires and truly listening for God's voice in the process. Many times, God's wisdom might lead us to make decisions that seem counterintuitive to the world's standards, such as choosing contentment over the pursuit of more possessions, or taking a slower path to financial success in order to ensure long-term stability and peace. It might not always be the easiest or most obvious route, but it will always be the best. When we trust in God's wisdom, we can rest assured that we are making choices that will lead to lasting financial health and spiritual peace. Patience and faith in waiting for God's provision. Patience is a virtue that is often tested when we're talking about finances. It's easy to feel anxious when we don't see immediate results, especially if we're working hard and trying to be diligent with our money. It's even easier to feel discouraged when the provision we're praying for hasn't arrived yet. But this is where our trust in God's timing and wisdom becomes so important. God promises to provide for our needs. Sometimes it's just not in the way we expect and not as quickly as we desire. This is where faith comes in. True faith means trusting that, even when we don't see immediate provision, God is at work behind the scenes, preparing us for what's ahead. Waiting can be difficult, but it's important to remember that God's provision is always faithful. It may come in ways we don't expect. Perhaps the job you're praying for doesn't come immediately, but an unexpected opportunity arises that sets you up for future success. Or maybe you're saving for a large purchase, and an unexpected financial gift or tax return arrives right when you need it. Trusting in God's provision involves believing that He will provide what you need, when you need it, and that His timing is always perfect. It's in these moments of waiting that our faith is strengthened, and we learn to rely on God's provision rather than our own efforts. God's wisdom in managing money. God's wisdom is not only helpful when we are making big financial decisions, but it also plays a crucial role in the day-to-day management of money. We are often tasked with managing our finances in a way that honors Him, by being responsible stewards of what He has entrusted to us. Proverbs 3-9 says, "Honor the Lord with your wealth, with the first fruits of all your crops." This means using our money, not just for our own benefit, but in a way that serves others and furthers God's kingdom. When we apply God's wisdom to our money, we become more mindful of how we spend, save, and give. Using God's wisdom in money management might mean making decisions that go against the cultural norm, like prioritizing saving for the future, living below your means, or choosing not to get into debt. It might mean being generous with your resources, even when it feels like you don't have enough to spare. God's wisdom also reminds us to be humble and to recognize that everything we have is a gift from Him. By being mindful of His guidance, we can make wise financial decisions that reflect gratitude and faithfulness. Managing money in this way brings peace because it aligns our financial actions with God's plan and will, resting in the peace of God's financial plan. Perhaps one of the most comforting aspects of trusting in God's timing and wisdom is the peace that comes with it. When we learn to rest in the understanding that God is in control, we can let go of anxiety and stress about our finances. This doesn't mean that financial struggles won't come, or that there won't be moments of uncertainty, but it means that we trust that God's plan for our financial lives is good. His provision is sufficient, His timing is perfect, and His wisdom will guide us through every season. When you trust in God's plan, there's a profound sense of peace that accompanies that trust. You're not relying on your own ability to figure it all out, but instead, you're resting in the assurance that God is working everything together for your good. This peace doesn't mean inactivity. It means you can move forward with confidence, knowing that as you align your decisions with His will, He will lead you in the right direction. This peace also frees you from the constant pressure to keep up with others or to worry about future uncertainties. When you trust in God's financial plan for your life, you'll discover that the greatest riches are not measured in the amount of money you have, but in the peace, contentment, and faith you experience along the way. So guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. For more interesting content, give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. For more awesome content, have a nice day and I will see you in the next video.